Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out today's broadcast. My name is Jonathan. If you're new here, I created this channel to record my progress as I work towards my goal of achieving a healthy weight. If you enjoy these videos, make sure that you like this video first and then subscribe to the channel. Click on the bell icon so you'll get alerted when I go live. If you'd like to join in on the discussion, you can join me live at 4 p.m. Let me know how you're doing on your diet, or if you have any questions about what I'm doing, or want to give any updates. That's a great place to do that. If you don't want to do it on the live stream here, I do also have a Discord channel that I created. You can find the link to the Discord down in the description below. Also down in the description below, we have a link to a Pinterest board. A lot of times we get asked what foods we're eating or what we recommend eating for a diet, and that's kind of the best place to see those things. Also, I may reference the foods that we eat. A lot of times those recipes will be down in the Pinterest, or they will be on the Pinterest board, or they will be shared on the Discord link. I'm gonna go ahead and get started here today. I hope everybody had a great weekend. We had a moderately busy weekend. There was nothing that we had to go and do anything or be anywhere this weekend, which was kind of nice. But we did end up having sleepovers on Friday night when you have 4 kids and uh, they're all, they have their friends. So one of our kids slept at somebody else's house, and then we replaced that kid with one of our other kids' friends. So we did have some company over. It's always interesting when we send our kids off, and uh, we don't have any control over their diet or what they're eating. They seem to do a pretty good job. I think that they handle it pretty well. But then when we have other people's kids at our house, we don't have any animal products in the house. And so everybody that comes and visits us is getting a plant-based or vegan diet. And they don't seem to mind it. We still have waffles and with syrup and berries, and grilled cheeses, and all kinds of stuff. Terry's checking in saying, hey. Anthony's checking in saying, hi. How's everybody doing? I hope you're all doing great. I hope you guys both had good weekends, right? I think Carrie had a good weekend. Seemed like she was enjoying herself this weekend. So we had company over Saturday. It was really nice weather. It was actually nicer, I think, than Sunday, even though Sunday might have been warmer. But on Saturday, I ended up spending a big chunk of my afternoon, and I went and saw the newest Spider-Man movie. My son had been bugging us about watching it, and he just caught us at a right time, I guess, and brought it up Saturday. And I was kind of like, well, I got nothing else going on. I guess we could go see the movie. And so we went and saw the new Spider-Man movie. I enjoyed the movie. It was cool how they kind of did the story of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of those in the future and seeing like the newest Doctor Strange movie coming out soon. It'll be fun. But yeah, it was cool seeing that movie. And then after the movie, or I guess on Sunday, we ended up going I the Sunday, as far as I could tell, was predicted to be nicer weather-wise than Saturday, and I thought it was pretty nice out Saturday. And so we planned to do kind of an outdoor thing on Sunday. We weren't exactly sure what we were going to do until we got up that morning, I think. But um, we ended up taking the kids up to a park that is about 40 minutes away. The reason we went up there was I know of the park, I guess, or I've heard it's a pretty nice place, but then also uh, there was a dog park that I had heard was a nice dog park. So I thought we would take the dog up and they would check out the dog park. And it was a neat dog park. The downside was that the weather was just warm enough that the ground, the top couple, maybe the top inch or half inch of the soil was defrosting, which is enough for your dog to get mud all over itself. And then when you go to a dog park, the at first it was no problem because it was just kind of us with our dog, but we went to another area where there was some other dogs, and then the dogs start roughhousing and they start playing, and so it's not just mud on their paws, but it's dogs jumping on top of dogs with their mud on their paws and stuff. So it was a bit messier than I had anticipated, but I do look forward to going back and checking out the dog park maybe when the weather is a little bit nicer and the ground is a little bit drier. But I did end up taking there was a really neat um I guess it was like a castle structure that was built at the park that overlooks the river, and here I can zoom in a little bit maybe. But yeah, we were at the top of the structure and then you can see the Mississippi River here. And actually in this photo here, there's my kids. Um this section of the river that you can kind of see right here, from what I understand, is like the widest point of the Mississippi, the whole length of the Mississippi. So it's kind of cool having a lookout point there. It was a neat kind of castle structure that we climbed up a couple stories. It was a little bit vague as to whether or not we should have been up there or not, but we made it up there safely and nobody was injured on the way down. But yeah, it was kind of cool to just get out, get in the sun, and hang out, outside the house, away from the technology and the iPads and the computers and things like that. We were able to do a little bit of hiking, not, I guess not hiking. We stayed on the concrete path as much as we could. We just did some walking, I guess, but it wasn't anything of note. It was maybe a mile of walking or, uh, yeah, maybe more than a mile of walking, but it wasn't too much, activity. I should have updated my Garmin. I never think to do that. Um, so yeah, that was really what we did this weekend. Uh, so it was fun to hang out, like I said, on Sunday. um, Food wise for the weekend, I was on diet for the weekend. On Friday night, can't remember what we had. Maybe if Carrie's watching, she can chime in. I feel like we had something baked, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure on Saturday we had mega veggie chili, which is always one of my favorites. Such a simple meal that doesn't have really any, um, you can kind of make it however you want, and Carrie does a great job putting it together. Lots of beans, lots of corn, uh, and it is it's kind of that meal I've talked about in the past that was the first meal that we really got probably the oldest recipe that we continue to use in our diet still. When we first switched over to a whole food plant-based diet, mega veggie chili was yes, Friday night. Carrie did get, yeah, it was tikka masala that we had Friday night. Um but the mega veggie chili, that was a meal that I was not a huge fan of the first time we had it. It wasn't anything wrong with it. I just felt like it was bland and didn't really offer much. And then after a couple weeks sitting down, eating the same meal, and just kind of realizing how much better the food tasted and how much more I was enjoying it, and I was wanting to go back and get seconds. That was definitely one of the things that changed early on in my diet as I went from just having a single serving of things. And then once I started realizing, or once my taste buds started adjusting, then I started probably eating multiple servings of some of those things. I feel like the tikka masala was Thursday now that I think about it, because I talked about it on stream because of the difference between the two chickpeas. Pretty sure that it's some. And then on Sunday night, no idea what the name of it, but I know a bunch of ingredients that we had on Sunday night's dinner. It was rice. There was chickpeas in there. Pretty sure it was tahini. Uh, what else? I wrote it down somewhere here. White sweet potatoes and regular sweet potatoes. I think that that was everything that was in there. It was just like this big bowl of mixed just food. I've been having an awful cough recently. I'm getting better, but it's still going on. The sauce is awesome. Makes the whole bowl. You know, that's kind of how a lot of those things work, isn't it? The sweet potatoes also were very good in that meal. So, um, yeah, I don't know what we had. We had guests company over, trying to think if you made us something, and then it doesn't really. But anyways, that was kind of the food that we had for the weekend. I said chickpeas. I'm pretty sure I said. Anyways, um, I don't have a ton of time today because although we didn't have a super busy weekend, we got a very busy Monday and Tuesday this week. We have to go to some meetings this evening, so I can't stay super late. And then tomorrow's going to be similar. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get on and stream tomorrow, but if I go live, you'll find. uh, so yeah, I was just kind of gonna touch base. You know, the Friday was waffles and fake eggs. Yes, we had breakfast for dinner. I remember making the comment now. Yes, that's what we had. We had waffles Friday evening. And I actually had, for the first time, I had the waffles and I used date syrup instead of maple syrup. And I didn't mind it. It's different. And I didn't put a lot of date syrup on it because I was worried that it would be, I didn't know what it was going to taste like. So I just put a little bit of uh, date syrup on it, sort of like you would maybe have drizzled chocolate on a waffle. You know, well, that example because I probably would have. I mean, I would have dipped a waffle in chocolate. Anthony's saying fake eggs. Yes. Carrie made the fake eggs out of chickpeas. She used a chickpea flour to make the fake eggs, and the way she prepared it and the way it was like mixed together, it was very interesting because essentially she took chickpea flour and made little clusters or balls of chickpea flour, which is just like chickpeas. So it was weird. It was kind of a like she rebuilt chickpeas from chickpea flour. Tasted really good. My I loved the mushrooms in it. And if I would have just had a bowl of mushrooms, I probably would have been happy too. It's I don't know why we just don't have mushrooms like that much. And we should have mushrooms like that more. Sauteed kind of uh, regular mushrooms, I guess. But yeah, that was what the fake eggs. Maybe she has a recipe she'll share in the Discord or it's on the Pinterest already. I'm not sure. But yeah, it was a chickpea flour base for the scrambled eggs and it had onions and mushrooms, maybe some red pepper. What is the red pepper? Yeah, I guess that would be what that is. And it was really good. I really liked that. Um, and then, like I said, the waffle with the date syrup, I liked that. I had just seen a video recently where the person was who was presenting, they are somebody who eats a whole food plant based SOS free diet, and they had kind of commented that they go for date syrup over maple syrup when they have the choice because they feel that the date syrup is more of a whole food. So that's why I just say this. I had brought that up to Carrie, and so she was like, "Well, we have date syrup," and I was like, "Oh, well, I'll try date syrup," and it worked out. Pizza tonight. She'll use mushrooms. Sounds delicious. Mushrooms and onions on pizza uh is awesome. That was, I guess I'll share a weird story. Before when I was a kid, uh I used to wrestle, and part of wrestling was setting up for wrestling events or doing things. And when we would do this wrestling tournament, I remember specifically we would help set the tournament up, and as one of the perks of going and helping and setting up the tournament is that they would order a bunch of pizzas. And the head coach, it seemed like a quirky thing, but he would order an onion pizza. And before that, I guess, I lived 14 years or 15 years. I'd never heard of an onion pizza. And I was incredibly surprised at how good an onion pizza was. And it was just like, it was liberal amounts of, a very large amount of onions on it. Anyways, so that's what I think about when I think about onions on. But yeah, we're gonna have pizza tonight, which is awesome. Carrie, I'm sure that recipe for that is shared on the Pinterest. We've had pizza quite a few times. It seems like it's probably been a month since we've had the pizza though, so that's awesome for dinner tonight. Um, the Yeah, you know, just kind of what I had on the thing for the finding what works for you. What's this question? Do you have a Whole Foods market? There's no Whole Food. Um, but does your local supermarket carry all the veggies and beans there? We shop at 3 or 4 grocery stores overall. And they all have different things, The uh from Walmart, we've picked up a lot of the beans. We just picked up a bunch of dry beans, like the dry chickpeas and the dry kidney beans. Those we got from Walmart. They seem to be a good price. The rice from Walmart, I bought a 5-pound bag of brown rice. Um, but the veggies we get from the supermarket, a mix, Walmart has vegetables that we get from there. There's also a natural grocers that we get some items from there. There's one more, Fresh Thyme. I don't know if that is a uh national chain or not. I feel like they have places elsewhere. Um, so um, so yeah, we go to a few different places. Carrie has resorted to ordering things from online, but yeah, Carrie says yes, we get most everything from Walmart. That's pretty much our go-to Walmart online order. Drive up and have them put it in the car, uh, and it seems to work pretty well for most things. I mean, the nuts, like I said, we get from Costco. And actually, the weirdest thing happened the last time I was in Costco. I had a grocery cart filled with different varieties of nuts. I had almonds and um cashews and this heart healthy mix that we eat. And there was something else. I will just do this. It won't be. That's Oh, I thought I had a photo of it. Anyways, I was at Costco and I had a whole bunch of nuts in my cart, and a lady stopped me as I was walking, and she was like, "Hey, you should that was 3 of them." And I think I had just grabbed the bag of almonds um when this lady stopped me. So I had those and a bag of almonds. And she was like, "Hey, just a heads up, if you go to Farm and Fleet, you can get nuts for actually cheaper than they were there." Didn't stop me from buying those at the time, but that's kind of something that we've been trying to find a few different things to save a little bit of money. Like that's kind of the toughest thing is that some of these things can get expensive. Like those bags of nuts, like each of those containers or bags was like $15 a piece. So that's almost $50 worth of nuts right there. So if we could save some money on that, that would be great. Carrie says that we get low sodium beans usually. Uh but just started using the dry beans. It's really quick and easy in the Instapot and much cheaper. Oh my gosh, it's so much cheaper to just do the dry beans and soak them or use the Instapot if you're looking to save some money. And that's kind of why we switched over to that. Also, even when you're trying to find things that don't have sodium, they put sugar and they put other preservatives in to try to make these things last. And so with the dry items, we kind of know, the history of the bean a little bit better. And then uh got what I was gonna say. But yeah, just trying to find a way we move around to different places just if we can get things for a little bit cheaper. Um there's an app that Carrie started using with the Walmart. I think it's called Ibotta. Um, but there's a few items that like my cherry juice that we get from Walmart, not very cheap, like $5 a container. But a lot of times she can find some discounts or coupons to get those for she had buy one, get one at one point that we bought a lot. And then I think now you can even get a couple bucks off depending on that. So those are just a few things we've done to save money. Because it's interesting because this diet can be expensive, but then it can be really cheap. Like the rice and the beans, not very expensive at all. I don't know that soy milk's even that expensive. Soy milk would be fairly easy to make. We're toying with the idea of making the soy milk, because I hadn't even really thought of like you don't probably even need a whole lot of the beans to make these milks because it's 90 or probably 90% just water. So um any money that we're spending on these soy milks is probably a little bit extra too. Um oh yeah. um but it's just been really crazy just everything that's uh know, how everything's changed over the past year and really excited. Ibotta is what it's called. She gets some decent cash back on some plant-based items. Yes. Uh so that might be something worth checking out. We tried using the Happy Cow app. We went up to the park this weekend. It's like 40 minutes away. Pulled up the Happy Cow app to see if there was anything up there and nothing showed up. We could have gone and got fast food, but for the kids, but we just opted to make them suffer the half-hour drive home and make them eat regular food at home instead of getting junk food, which is probably the first time we have made that choice with them in a while. It seems like we give in a lot with the fast food just to kind of appease them and stop doing that as much. But um, thanks, Anthony. I appreciate that a lot. Uh, the It's just wild though, like the how good I feel eating this way and how awesome it has been these past couple weeks. And like I had that we could go Sunday where we ate that KFC and I was super worried and I feel like I don't know if it just got me more. I don't know what, but I just feel great since that point. And Friday the scale was doing awesome. And so and that's almost a hindrance going into the weekend, like going into the weekend and the scale saying that I'm lighter than I was on Wednesday, for me, it makes it tough to keep that. Uh, uh, I guess it makes it easier for me to talk myself into doing something I shouldn't. So it has been a crazy week and a half with everything, and I think I'm going to have a great result on this Wednesday, but I won't know till I get on the scale. And uh I did call Carrie this morning though because um I feel like I ate a lot yesterday. I had a large volume of food yesterday, and I've I've like lost a couple pounds today at work just because I've gone to the bathroom a couple times. And it has been it's crazy just the difference, because I've done the fasting or I've done the diets where I was barely eating anything, and it feels like it's such a different experience than this. So much more satisfying to go to bed with a full stomach and to just, yeah, have have that bioavailability of things for your gut microbiome to digest and to do something with. Like in the past, I imagine that it was just not doing great. Carrie's poop talk, yes, poop talk. Um, but like I said, I gotta actually get out of here. I can't really ramble or stretch this out too long. But I'm gonna try to get on tomorrow and go live. I can't guarantee anything. I will definitely be on Wednesday. It's gonna really kind of be my official 16-week weigh-in. Kind of weird. But yeah, it's gonna. I'm sorry, that's 16-week. It's gonna be like my 16-month weigh-in. Um, and I to be on track for where I wanted to be at the beginning of this year, I'd have to lose a lot of weight before Wednesday. I don't imagine that I'm going to lose that 8 pounds that I would have to. It's not going to happen. But like I said, I can catch up, and it's uh better than I was doing all of the last half of last year. I really stalled out there with the weight loss, but um I didn't gain any back, or I didn't not fighting that anymore, I guess. I'm going in the right direction. The scale is doing what I anticipate it to do based on previous experience and where I'm at. I think the biggest thing for me is going to be trying to figure out how to taper down the volume of my diet over the next year, because I still have a tendency to overeat or eat a lot. Um, but I don't feel guilty about it because, I mean, if I don't imagine that anybody should feel guilty for eating a bowl of shredded wheat with soy milk. Like, I don't know that there's any doctors out there that are saying that eating a bowl of shredded wheat and soy milk with some raisins is overindulgent. Um, but I kind of use that as a satiation technique, as a, you know what, thinking about food that can't be that bad for me, and it's going to fill my gut, and I feel like it works great. So anyways, I'm out of here, guys. I will talk to you tomorrow or Wednesday. If you haven't started your diet yet, get started right now. There's no reason to wait. There's nothing coming up that's more important than your health and overall well-being. Nobody gets to the end and says, man, I wish I would have waited. I would have waited a couple days, it would have been nice to have those couple more days of that crap diet that was making me feel like I was going to die. I wish I would have held on to that for as long as possible. No, everybody wishes they would have started sooner. So get started right now. Don't fall for the myth of moderation. There's two of them: the myth of moderate consumption. We all say, man, if I could just eat less, if you could just eat less, we'd all be skinny. That was easy. We'd all be skinny. You have to change the density of the food that you're eating. You have to say, if I can't eat less, I need to eat fewer calories. So lower the calorie density, eat more leafy green vegetables, more potatoes, things that are less than 500 calories per pound. Also, the myth of moderate change. It works for some people sometimes, but if you're going to go all in at some point, if you're going to change everything at some point, why drag it out? What are you gaining by holding on to that thing that at some point you're saying you're never going to have again? If you're going to say, "Hey John, I'm going to switch to a whole food plant-based diet, but I'm having a hard time with the cheese. I'm just going to kind of keep eating cheese." Like what's you're well, I'm never having cheese. I will never have a piece of dairy cheese intentionally again in my life. And it's the way it is. Like it's not I don't like I didn't have to change slowly, you know? Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live. I will talk to you guys later.